Hey everybody, welcome to the Keto Mom page. My name is Stephanie. Actually, I should call myself Marshmallow today. I have many layers on. It is very cold. And you might go, why aren't you heating your house? We are. And I'm cold. Our friends make fun of me because I will wear multiple layers of clothes. Even in the summer, I probably wear a sweatshirt 90% of the time. So in the winter, even with a fire on and even with the heat on, I am cold. I wear so many sweatshirts all at the same time. I'm in Minnesota. Where are you tuning in from? We are going to dive into our Mindset Mornings. We're reading a book, right? We are reading a book together. Here's the book, Chasing Daylight. We will probably be done with this book here in the next week. And then I'll just talk about some different things until December. We're going to go through the book, The 5-Second Rule by Robbins. And so good morning in December. So if you want to grab that book, awesome. If you just want to tune in here every single morning for something to get your mindset on track, awesome. I hope your morning is going well. We thought today was supposed to be nice. I put the dogs out and it is windy and like very brisk. So I was like, I need another sweatshirt on. So I have another layer. Lots and lots. All right, so I have a fun little quote for you this morning. I grabbed out of my box, Crush Your Goals quotes. And you want to know what? It kind of lines up with what I'm going to talk about right here. Good morning. It says, the only way to get a thing done is to start to do it. You have to start. It's going to line up with exactly I'm going to tell you, pretty much. Then keep on doing it, and finally you'll finish it. Doesn't say when, right? You got to keep on going no matter what. So that is the thought for today. Starting, and you have to keep going. That's sometimes hard, right? Yesterday we talked about the middle, not wishing the middle away, not having the super exciting beginning or the happily ever after, but enjoying the middle, right? Making memorable moments in the middle. A lot of you are probably in the middle of whatever you're going after. Don't get bored. Don't quit. If you get bored, don't quit. The only way you fail is if you quit. Don't quit. All right. We just ended the chapter 5. He just tells a couple basic stories to end the chapter. So I'm going to start on chapter 6, and it's called Advance. Go unless you get a no. Page 154. And honestly, I'm just going to read one paragraph to you out of the 5 pages. He tells a story. So here's the author. His name is Erwin McManus. He's a pastor in LA. I actually really enjoy his podcasts, just so you know. So if you are a podcast listener, I have the podcast app. And I listen to many podcasts. Actually, a lot of you ask, what do you listen to? I listen to books on Audible. I read books. And I listen to podcasts. If you have a really great podcast that you listen to, I'd love for you to post below. The podcasts that I listen to, they're all pastors. So some of you are like, tell me some keto podcasts. I'm like, I don't listen to anybody else, but some really incredible pastors around the world. And so if you want that, I can send you some pictures. If you don't, it's all right. Okay, so he tells a story of when he was young. And he says, I think he grew up in Miami. He said everybody has to learn to swim. He was at a pool one day as a young boy. All the kids were going up to this crazy high dive. Finally, he was like, I don't want to be the only person not doing it. So he climbs up to the high dive. He gets to the end of the diving board, looks down and went, oh, this is too high. Like, nope, not going to do it. Basically, like anything in your life, right? Everybody's doing it, or I want to do it, or that's what I have to do to make the change. I've got to get the gym membership. I've got to go meet with that person, like whatever it is. And it's not even about your health. And I want you to know something. This page, while it helps you on your keto, low carb health journey, my intent is to help you think outside of that. Your life and your health, your life is a reflection of so many different things, not just the food that you eat. What? Or guess what? You might be working on your health, but you also have another big call on your life. You've got something that's only for you, something that's so important, an assignment for you to do. And you might be here because you're like, well, I don't feel worthy, or I don't feel like I can do it. And it might just revolve around making some different choices and changing your habits. But I bet you, many of you have something so deep inside that you feel called to do, you feel like you want to, like, I'm meant to do this. And for whatever reason, you haven't taken that step. I need you to know something. Like, I will coach you on health and fitness all day. And I love to encourage people to go after what they are called to do, what is deep down inside of them. Like, what is the assignment that God has on your life? And you might go, oh, but the way I look or appear or feel is holding me back. So let's fix that, right? We can fix that with a couple little tweaks of some habits and a couple little changes of how you look at food and the things that you eat and the lack of exercise. Like, all of those things can be changed. You will feel more confident to go after whatever it is that you want to do. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to read something to you. I loved what he said this morning as I was reading. All right, he says this. Life is so he wanted to go off this high board. And he looked down and then he goes, I don't want to go off the high board. No way. So he turns around, walks back to the end of the platform, and he says there was two problems. Number one, there was kids all up the ladder waiting for me to go. I couldn't get down. Number two, my big brother. And his brother says, you will not come back this way. So he had no choice. He had to take the high dive. He had to do it. He said, and then he says, it was fun. It was exhilarating. I'm glad I did it. You know, like, oftentimes you don't want to take that scary step, but when you do, you're happy that you did. So he says, life is full of high boards, the place that we stand where we realize that the altitude is higher than we expected, the place where there is no neutral. We either go forward or we go backwards. Many times this becomes the dividing line. I often say, hey, it's time to draw a line in the sand. You've got to decide one way or the other, right? He says the line that separates those who see their divine opportunity and those who sees their divine opportunity. Those who see their divine opportunity and those who sees their divine opportunity. At this stage of the game, you're close enough to taste it. You've made significant decisions to live out your divine adventure, but now you have to make a choice. Will you advance or will you retreat? And that was the chunk I was going to read. Some of you are on a line. Sometimes people say, you're on the fence post. You've got to get off one way. It hurts to sit on a fence post, so get off, right? Which way are you going? Are you going to advance? Are you going to retreat? Are you going to watch everybody else? Are you going to seize your moment? Are you going to seize your opportunity? Nobody can do it for you. You can do it, right? You have to make choices every single day. And I'm not talking just about food. I know there's somebody on here who's like, yes, I know I need to make a change, or I need to take that next step, or I need to make the phone call or go meet with that mentor or write the book or do a podcast. Or like I'm preaching to myself because there's things that I've been wanting to do, longing to do. I make little advances, then I stop. I make some more advances, write down some ideas, but I don't actually seize it. I see it. I see it. So what is it that you need to dive off into? He also tells stories about, he says, I wanted, he has a church in LA, but they wanted to plant a church north. And he tells a story about how they didn't have the building, but they asked for the volunteers and they had the people and they had the band. They had everything, and it had gotten to 2 weeks prior to the launch date, but they didn't have a location. He says sometimes you don't have all the answers. You don't have everything lined up perfectly, but you know what you're supposed to do. So you take the next step and you take the next step and you make that decision and it's every day. It's your everyday life. Like today, you're going to come up with so many decisions and choices you have to take. You have to make. Yes, no. This is my best yes. This is my best no. That's not serving me. I'm going to choose this. It's a little bit harder. I'd rather choose that, but this is serving me right now. Yes or no. You make them every day, right? And if whatever you're doing isn't serving you, if it's not helping you meet your goals, then you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to go, okay, this isn't working. I love the coffee here, but I don't love the donuts. And if I walk in here, I smell the donuts, so I grab the donuts, so you don't get the coffee. It's a pivot, right? I always hit my alarm clock, so therefore I need to keep my phone out of my room. It has to go in the bedroom or bathroom, so it's super loud. I need to make the pivot so that when I hear the alarm clock, it drives me crazy. I have to get out of bed to hit the snooze, but then I'm up, so I might as well work out, right? I go to the office, but there's always food in the employee lounge. I didn't pack my lunch. I'm just going to fast today, but then I smell the food. No, I'll fast tomorrow, so I eat the food that's there because I didn't plan and make the food that I should have brought to work. And I would have been set up for success. So now I have to eat because I'm not going to fast because I'm hungry, right? You have to make choices every single day. And whether it's about food or whatever the case may be, only you know the things that you are called to do. What is it? I don't know what it is. I know what mine are. And I know the things that I have slacked on and the things that I've said no to and the things that I've put on the shelf because it's too hard. I don't know what the end looks like. I don't have all of the details, so I don't do it. When in reality, he says, Pastor Erwin McManus says, I did all of the things that I knew to do. I was like, okay, who wants to volunteer? Who wants to do this? Who wants to be on this board? Who wants to do this? And then he's like, I just have to have trust and faith that the other things will come as I need them. And 2 weeks prior to the launch date, the building came. 2 weeks. Everything else is lined up. He's like, what if we don't have a building? He's like, well, I knew I was supposed to do this, so I took the next step, and then things come as you need them. So I don't know who needed to hear that. Totally random. I thought this was great. Will you advance or will you retreat? And if all you're thinking about right now is your health and fitness, will you advance or will you retreat? There's no perfect. If you messed up yesterday, guess what? You have today. If you mess up today, you have tomorrow. And if you make a choice that doesn't serve you in the day, it doesn't mean your whole day is ruined. Keep going. Don't make an excuse. Don't blame other people. We say don't blame, shame, or justify. Don't blame other people. Don't blame your past. Don't shame other people. Don't shame yourself, and don't justify it. Just keep moving forward. All right, I shouldn't have done that. I'll make a better decision for lunch. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I'll make a better decision for dinner. Oh, I'll make a note in my phone. I need to plan my meals. Or I need to go to the gym. Whatever the case may be. Whatever it is. Or, I don't know. So, that was totally random, but I hope that you got something out of it. And whatever it is, I hope you go after it. I hope you advance and you don't retreat. So, this is the book we're going through. We'll continue to go through this. We'll wrap it up here in probably the next few days or so. And then we'll see what we talk about for the rest of the month. So I hope you have an incredible day. I'm always here to help. Continue to tune in to the page for keto tips and tricks. And as always, I appreciate you. Your presence matters. I do love it when you hop on because it encourages me as well. So I hope you have an incredible day, and we'll talk to you soon.